willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe des E-Talk Cambridge Show, Vancouver Resource Investment Konferenz. Und bei mir ein Startinterview. Great Bear Resources, Chris Taylor ist da bei mir und die Company ist wahrscheinlich einer der Leader in dem Markt und die könnte auch oder hat das Potenzial, relativ viel Geld in den Markt zurückzubringen, weil genau das sind die Stories, die wir suchen. Chris, I said thank you for your time. I said in my German introduction that you do a fantastic job. Your company doing really great. Your performance last year was unbelievable. Also 2 years ago. Yep. And maybe you're one of the companies that have the potential to bring a lot of investors back in the resource sector.
Yeah.
Or you are the kind of stories what we are looking for, that the investor is interesting. You buy a stock. What was your last year performance? What were you starting with?
I think I can go 2 years of description. Yeah. So I believe in 2018, we started the year around 20 cents. And then we finished the year around $2. And then in 2019, we started somewhere around $2 and finished over $8. So it's been thousands of percentage returns for our investors over the last couple of years, but it's still very early stage story and it continues to grow.
So what you're doing that you get this 1,000% of performance?
It's effectively a very big gold discovery right to the surface beside a highway in the Red Lake area of Ontario, Canada. And Red Lake is one of the best high-grade gold producing districts in Canada, so it's one of the best in the world. And we've made a major discovery, or a series of major discoveries, on a project which is just about a 15-minute drive from downtown Red Lake.
Yeah, and the good thing is also that you have a great infrastructure there, mining town there.
That's right.
That the people know what's happened, so you are not in the north or something where nothing is.
I showed a picture very early in the Great Bear story when I was talking about the company, and there was 4 photographs on the front page. One of them was a mountain, one of them was a lake, one of them was a helicopter, and one of them was a bunch of jihadists with guns. And I said, Great Bear has none of these things. It's as good as you could get for finding a big gold discovery. And the gold zone we found, it's many kilometers long, and it's parallel to the highway.
Yeah, but perfect. Parallel to a highway.
Yeah, parallel to the highway. The highway runs like this, the gold zone runs like that, and there's a power line in between them.
Oh wow, that's really great.
Yeah.
So okay, when you have this 1,000% performance, why an investor should buy the stock now?
Well, it's there's typically a lot of growth in discovery stories, and we're very much a discovery story at this point. And you have a choice in this industry, and I do both, but you invest in very small companies with a very slim chance of success, and then you invest in companies that are already performing well and have a good chance of further success. And we're getting into that latter category, but we still have, out of all of our project, it's about 20 kilometers long, we've only explored about 20% of the project so far. So there's a lot of discovery potential, and already what we found, I think it's going to rank among some of the largest gold discoveries recently in North America.
So coming to the resource itself, do you have a resource calculation so far outstanding, or
It's being drilled right now. We have a very long target. It's probably about 18 kilometers long. We've drilled off about 4 kilometers of it so far, and we've decided that we're going to do resource definition along about 4 kilometers of this. It should be ready in terms of resource publication about this time next year. So a very quick turnaround. And between now and then, you'll see there's a $21 million exploration program that we're fully funded for, that we're doing now, and you'll see about 200 to 300 drill holes this year published as we drill this and test new targets.
What is the average grade?
In this case, we're looking at 2 types of deposits really on the project. One of them is Red Lake style high grade gold. This will probably be about 10 grams per ton, high grade gold in veins. We have that also kilometer after kilometer along this big fault target that we're drilling, but around that gold there's big envelopes of a few grams, sometimes a gram to sort of 5 gram gold, and that's maybe 4 kilometers long so far, and we've only drilled it down to about 500 meters depth. But right from surface, you have big bulk tonnage gold. Maybe that'll average somewhere in the 1.5 grams to 2 grams range over a big area, potentially a bulk tonnage type mine. But within that, there's high-grade sheets of gold that go down to great depth and along strike length, and that'll be future, probably underground mining targets.
So, but the idea maybe is to have an open pit with and then for the higher stuff
it could very well be. And some of the biggest mining acquisitions in Canada recently, they're not the high grade underground, they're the big open pit.
Yeah,
so if you look at Detour Gold, was bought for more than a couple $1 billion recently by Kirkland Lake. You've also had several years ago Canadian Malarctic. It's a big open pit. It was bought for more than $3 billion with a B. And we have those types of targets, or maybe something more similar to the famous Hemlo discovery, which is disseminated high-grade gold, including open pitting and underground mining. So that was worth many billions of dollars, owned by 3 companies.
What's happened 2020? You say you're coming up with a huge drill program. How many meters we talk about?
Approximately 110,000 meters to 150,000 meters of drilling, so 110 to 150 kilometers of drill core, and that's fully funded. We have about $30 million Canadian in the bank right now, and we have a $21 million exploration budget. So we have enough money to actually expand further if we need to without raising any more money.
The final goal for your company is get bought out by some big ones or bring it in production by itself?
Well, I would be happy to continue through the whole development process, but because what we found it looks to be so big, there are no projects like this that aren't owned by major producers.
Yeah.
So as we begin to define resource especially, we've had a lot of interest in the project, many site visits, many inquiries. I think, although I would love to develop it all the way through, I think it's very unlikely that Great Bear is the one that puts it into production.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, that's logical. Especially we talk also a lot of investment to build up this mine.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's cost a lot. So this means for this year we can expect a lot of drill results. Maybe next year at this time or around PDAC you will come up with the first result calculation.
Correct. Yeah.
Do you do also not only the work on the 4 kilometers? You do also a lot of work to make step-out drillings.
Correct.
In this.
Correct. Yeah. Right now there are 5 drill rigs on the property. 4 of them are doing definition and expansion on the known zones, and 1 is doing exploration on lots of different targets.
Okay.
We also have something which is very unusual in the industry, but we're going to be creating a royalty on the project, because right now there's 0 external royalty. It's a very rare project that way, that there are no external royalties. So we're going to create one. We've announced this publicly, and give it to our shareholders. So shareholders of Great Bear in the near future will get a dividend, which is stock in a spin-out company that owns that 2% royalty. So it's something to look forward to. And the reason we're doing it early is because we're very optimistic about the project's potential, and we want to be the ones that benefit as shareholders from that future royalty.
Brings us to shareholder structure. How it looks like?
We have 46 million shares issued and outstanding, 53 fully diluted, so a lot less than most of our comparable companies. And that's because we keep raising money at higher and higher levels. So over the last 2 years, or 3 years, look at the financings, it was 15 cents, 20 cents, 25 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents, $1.45, $3.50, $5.45, and $8.35 a share. So the dilution is effectively negligible now. And that means that I want to see each shareholder make money. I just don't want to see the company get bigger, but the share price stay the same. I'd like to see that the share price is increasing, and the way we do that is make sure that you're not issuing more stock than you need.
You do a great job on this, by the way.
Thank you.
Great Bear is also coming out of the Discovery Group.
That's right.
So you share also some experience with other companies. So which company are also in the Discovery Group and have the same kind of management team?
Well, if you look at it, John Robbins and Jim Paterson are central figures. They're either advisors in our case or board member, chairman off of a number of other companies. So there's, for instance, Bluestone Resources, Fireweed Zinc, K2 Gold, Genesis Metals. There's a number of them. Dunedin Ventures is one that's in the company or in the envelope, the group of companies that I put a copper project into recently, and I think they've just generated some very nice copper drill results. So that's one to look at. And K2, for instance, is a gold exploration company. They have an asset in America that I put in, help them find for the company. So we tend to help each other originate projects, and obviously we have contacts in common with financing and advisory. So that's how we benefit as a group. There are no fees charged or anything. We just have a very discriminating policy. We don't want bad guys to come in the door. You have to be, like-minded and focused on shareholder value if you're part of the Discovery Group.
Great. Chris, thank you for the first introduction to your company. Good luck with all the drilling.
Thank
Hopefully that's continue and all the 18 kilometers are mineralized.
Yeah.
At the same numbers or better numbers. But it's really tough to go over this number what you have so far.
Yeah, very high grade gold. I mean, we're seeing just consistently, like as we step along, you get half an ounce, sometimes 5 ounces, sometimes 10 ounces per ton. We're hundreds of grams per ton, but generally, very unusual to find something this big with that consistency of very high grade gold along many kilometers.
And special in a well-known area.
Going right to surface.
Yeah.
So that's us. That's Great Bear.
Ja, that's interesting. Ja, Great Bear, eine der Stories, die wirklich unglaublich gelaufen sind, die letzten 2 Jahre von ungefähr 20 Cent auf über $8 gegangen. Das sind die Stories, die wir wollen, die der Markt auch dringend braucht, denn das ist genau das, was der Markt auch liefern kann. Die Story ist aber bei weitem noch nicht zu Ende. Sie haben einen 18 Kilometer langen quasi District, wo die Mineralisierung ist. 4 Kilometer davon haben sie erst ausgebohrt. Nächstes Jahr um die Zeit wieder Ressourcenschätzung kommen. Sie sind über 110.000 bis 150.000 Bohrmeter werden sie dieses Jahr bohren. 4 Bohrgeräte machen das Definition Drilling von diesen bekannten 4 Kilometer Erzmineralisierung, und das eine Bohrgerät bohrt quasi die anderen interessanten Targets. Die Story ist bei weitem noch nicht zu Ende. Natürlich können wir jetzt nicht mehr rechnen, dass die 5.000% jetzt macht. Das ist unwahrscheinlich, aber ein Verdoppler ist leicht einmal möglich, weil nämlich, wenn man das einfach durchrechnet, da kommt ein Großer rein, der kauft das Ganze, ist logisch. Und vor allem, weil die Infrastruktur auch da ist. Wir haben auch zum Schluss dann nochmal geredet über die Discovery Group. Sie haben mehrere Companies drinnen. Sie helfen einer untereinander. Und was auch unglaublich ist für mich die Aktionärstruktur. Sie haben 46 Millionen Aktien draußen, 53 fully diluted. Das ist bei so einer Story, bei so einem Potenzial extrem wenig. Unglaublich. Also da haben wir ein Multi-Unzen-System, das ist einfach Big Elephant, die sich kein großer eigentlich entgehen lässt, nur dazu in einer extrem sicheren Judikatur. Ja, das war's. Startinterview Great Bear Resources 2020 Vancouver. Tschüss und Baba.
Great, thank you. Thanks.